we have seen the toString method converts a number to a string. If you want to convert a number to a string, like within the quotations, you have to use this particular toString method, which we have seen yesterday. And string catenation also we have seen. We have joined the two strings into a one string using this catenation. And implicit type conversion. So implicit type conversion will be automatically taken care, and there is no need to manually do some calculations, okay, or any manipulations. So here if you try to append the string to a number, the output will be string, and if you multiply a number, what will be the output? So just try to check out with examples as mentioned yesterday. So 0 is interpreted as a boolean false and all the other numbers are interpreted as true. Null is converted to 0 in a numeric context, undefined to NaN. So in the numeric constant, what does a null means is nothing but 0. Undefined is like not a number. It's not a number. It is undefined. When a variable is not initialized, it is undefined. I mean the variable has the undefined, no value. And the empty string is interpreted as a boolean false and all other strings are boolean true. Similarly, as for numbers here, for empty strings it is similar, it is treated as a false. And explicit type conversions, we have seen certain methods, right? For example, parse it and parse float convert the beginning of a string but not cause an error if a non-space follows the numeric part. So this is about a parseInt and parse float methods. Try out some examples using these things. Coming to the string properties and methods, please refer to the string methods .asp link which I have shared yesterday. So the string has a length property. For example, if your variable x has a to z, that is 26 letters if you have stored it in a variable, and if you want to get the length of the numbers or get the length of the string, in that case you can give that particular variable dot length, okay. And this length method is different from length property. We have a length property in JavaScript which is like this one, and length method we have it in a Java program, okay. And all the strings begin at the index 0. Please remember that if you are trying to retrieve any value, if you are trying to retrieve any letter from a particular word, in that case you have to give this caret of some 5. So the index will start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So fifth will be 4, number 4, okay. And index of, if you want to get the index of any string, you can use the dot index of method. Similarly, we have seen the substring, and two lowercase and two uppercase doesn't require any parameter. They simply convert your small letters to capital letters and capital letters to small letters. So above 3 will require a parameters. So you can check out the syntaxes as well. The type of operator, and this operator helps to provide which type it is. Like for example, it's a number, it returns a number. If it is a boolean value, it returns boolean, okay. So similarly object also. So this is one of the syntax of the object creation, and another syntax is like a key value pair that we have seen yesterday, okay. So within this braces you can have the key value pair. Assignment statements. So compound assignment statement with, so these we call it as a compound assignment statement. If you give a plus is equal to 7, it's a shorthand operator which is also equal to a is equal to a plus 7. So similarly it is applied for the remaining things. So the date object, a date object represents a timestamp that is important in a time. Your date object will be able to create a timestamp. So with minutes, seconds, okay, it gives a timestamp. So how to create an object? So using as it is an object, you have to use definitely new, okay, where your variable is equal to new date object. Any object will have this kind of notation, okay. and using this now, you can try to get date, you can try to get year. Okay, so now your variable is now, right? So now dot, you can access these certain methods, get date, get month. Okay, here also the number will range from 0 to 11, and here day also 0 to 6. It's not 1 to 7, it's 0 to 6. Get full year, you will get the full year. So just try to explore these methods. Okay, now in this class we'll be discussing about window and the document. So I would like to show you one diagram of the window and object, how it appears. Discussion in our previous classes about a window and an document. Okay, window is nothing but your browser window. Okay, and document is an object which is loaded into your browser. Okay, this document is made up of HTML document or any JavaScript or any kind of document. So this document gets loaded into your window object. This is your window object. So in the window object, whatever HTML you are viewing, right? So that is internal model created by the JavaScript interpreter. Okay, so here you have the document object loaded into your browser. So the output will be like window dot document dot property. Okay, a document object, and within the document you can have a different properties to manipulate the different elements of the HTML, like paragraph or any other kinds of tags. So this is how an object, this is how a window and a document is represented. Okay, let's go back to our PPT, in which the document containing the script is being displayed. So the document can be HTML or SPH or anything. It can be containing a script as well. Now the document object represents the document being displayed using the DOM. So using the document object model, this document object represents the document. So what is this document object model? Document object model is nothing but your internal model created when the page is loaded into the browser. Okay, so this document object model will have a root HTML, children, head, okay, like title and paragraph and its siblings, etc. So that is the structure of the DOM, which is loaded internally in our browser as a model. And now the window has a properties. Window refers to the window object itself, and document refers to the document object. So these two properties refers to the respective objects. Okay, we call them as an objects. The window object is a default object for JavaScript. So properties and methods of the window object may be used without qualifying with a class name. So we are just actually mentioning like document is like residing inside a window, right? So in the case of window object, it is like default object for the JavaScript. For JavaScript, it is a default object. It has its certain properties like window dot width, window dot inner width, window dot height. So there are certain properties for the window object and methods as well. Okay. Here screen output and keyboard input. So the name itself tells like whatever the standard output for the JavaScript embedded in a browser. So generally in your browser you have your HTML page loaded, right? In your HTML page you have the embedded JavaScript. So the standard output for this JavaScript is the window displaying the page in which the JavaScript is embedded. So nothing else, straightforward. Whatever you are writing in your JavaScript, the output is being displayed on your browser screen. Okay, the write method of the document object, it's parameter to the write its parameter to the browser window. So using this document dot write, so you are trying to give the output using the, sorry, this is small d, document object dot write is a method which will help us to see the output on our screen. So this is text is nothing but you can write any information that you want to display. My name is, and X is nothing but a dynamic thing, that like a document dot get element by ID of some p dot, as we did in our previous examples, right? I'll just write it down here. So you want to display that X, you can have, I mean, you will try to manipulate the data in your script and pick it and place it in your demo.html. The same thing you can have it in a separate line. So this may not be an appropriate example, but whatever the text you want to display, you can display it using your document.write on your screen. So if you want to have any breaks, you can use the break tag here. Okay. Now moving on to the methods we have in HTML and JavaScript. Alert method. So while you are filling any form or doing any operations, you suddenly see a small pop-up on your window, right? Giving you an information like please verify all your details are correct, else I mean it throws an alert for you. It gives some information, right? In that case, what kind of like method we are using is alert method opens a dialog box with a message, and the output of the alert is not XHTML, so use new lines rather than a break tag. So here previously we have seen the break tag, right? When we are writing in a document dot, right, we can have the break tags for the line break. So here in the case of alert method, the output is not XHTML. Okay, it's not a simple HTML output like a p tag or a div tag. So here we have to use the new line rather than a, so new line is like this one. We have already seen the escape sequences, right? Slash n slash r. Okay, kind of slash n is like it moves to the next line, new line. So this is how when you use this statement, the below will be the output. Let us see some examples. Let me finish up the different kinds of methods and we'll move on. Next comes a confirmation method. Confirmation, the name itself tells like, do you want to confirm? Okay. In that case, you either click OK or cancel. If you want to confirm, you will click OK. Otherwise, we'll use a cancel. If the user presses OK, true is returned by the method, and if the user presses cancel, return false. Return thing is like false. So this is how you actually, if you whatever the data you are writing here, right, do you want to continue this download? It should be written inside the method confirm. And this is a variable question which has the return type true or false. Okay. Using this true and false, you can write your for OK you can write certain function, and for cancel you can write the separate code. Okay. Next one is the prompt. This method display its string argument in a dialog box. Okay. Within the dialog box itself, it stores the string argument. For example, what is your name? I actually type my name here and then click on OK. Then it will either open next to user prompt or what is the action that has to be performed on click of OK. And the dialog box is an area for the user to enter the text here, and this method returns a string with the text entered by the user. So whatever the user has entered the name, right, Divya or something, that will be returned to the name variable. Let me show you the example. Which has a prompt, three prompts. What is the value of A slash and new line? Okay. What is the value of B? So we have three prompts here, and we are trying to compute the square root and the denominator of the result. Okay. This is my logic. See here I have used a math object, math dot square root of, and I am doing this operation b square minus 4ac. Okay. and we have two variables here. I'm writing the logic within my variables. So here you can either write square root. I mean, if you are calculating square root, you are writing square root. If it's a seal or floor, any kind of methods of the math object, you can use them appropriately. Okay. So again, these are the formulas of my square root. So it is stored, the final value is stored in root 1 and root 2 variables using document dot write method. Document is your object, which is a child of a window object. Okay. So window is by default a JavaScript object. So that is the reason we are not writing any window dot document dot write. Okay. By default, as window is an object of the JavaScript, it is recognized by default by the JavaScript interpreter. We won't use the window here. It is default. We use only document.write. So within your HTML document, we are writing a method. So this is your text which is visible on your web page, and this is the output. As document.write will give a XHTML text, we can use the break tag. Okay. Here in the case of prompt, it's not an XHTML. It will be appeared like this. Let me share the screen. I'm unable to see the prompt. Let me check once. Yeah. Try to see the example in a web browser. Just give me a moment. I should be you should be able to see a prompt as we have seen in our PPT, right? I'm not sure because prompt is not getting displayed here. So I will show you the screenshot of the prompt, how it looks here. You can see the output, right? Hello Harry Potter, how are you today? So this output, how we got is like, you have a method called my function. So within the function you have written a prompt. Okay, please enter your name, and this is the empty space. If we give the empty space in our prompt, we can see the empty space in the text box. Okay, like enter your name, and there will be one input box and OK and cancel. So if I write the default value like Harry, that will be shown in your not empty text box. This time you will be shown the Harry in your text box. If the person is not equal to null, so we are trying to give a condition here. Control statements, you are well aware of the control statements, right? If else, if then, if else, if then. So these are types of control statements which helps us in the during the validations. So you are trying to check whether the person is not equal to null. So if it is empty, this condition will fail because the person is equal to null. Okay. Here in this case, okay, happy. Now again you are using, you are trying to show this output in your, after you click on the try it, within this space, okay, within this space you are trying to show the output, inner HTML. So hello is a string which will be displayed on your web page plus person. So when you do like a string plus person, like prepended before and after, like prepended, and you have used a plus before and plus after, in this case the person will be your happy. Okay, whatever the name we have given, this is your person, and how are you will be a normal text. Now I clicked on input box. Okay, this is your person. So try out the other methods as well, alert and let me share the screen of the PPT. So prompt output you will get like this. So in our web browser, I'm not able to share the screen. Maybe it may be problem with some sharing thing. So you try it out. So output will be like appearing like this if you use prompt. Okay. So this empty space, you can give a name predefined. If you give happy here, here in the text box white space, you can see the happy by default. If it doesn't give it, you'll have an empty one. So control statements, you are well aware of the control statements with respect to other programming languages you have learned, I guess. So compound statement in JavaScript is a sequence of zero or more statements enclosed by the curly braces. So if you have a curly braces, within the curly braces you have a compound statements. Okay. Have multiple statements. I mean, any statements it can have. If you have multiple statements within this flower braces, we call it as a compound statement. So a control construct is a control statement, including the statements or a compound statements it contains. So within this flower braces, you will have all the statements, multiple statements, and the control expression control the order of the statements. For example, you have multiple statements, right? Whatever the statement you have written in the first line will be executed first. So it will obviously follow some certain order. And compound statements in a JavaScript are syntactic, and it contains further sequence of statements whose execution they control. And control statements flow. I'll just show you some examples of the strings and numbers, how it appears. JavaScript control statements. Example is if. So I'll show you the syntax of how you will write. Okay. So this is actually a single line of statement which is present in your if control statement. Okay. So so there is no necessity for writing the curly braces if it is a single line of statement within the if. If it's multi-line, for example, I have something called document.write again, trying to show some different value. Okay. In the case of multi-line statements, it should be braces are mandatory. Okay. So within this, you can write your portion of code. Okay. Like we have different kinds of statements and loop statements like while is like you'll have only the syntax. I'll show you here. Yes, okay. So within if value is less than C3, like you can have the some statement one, okay, shorthand operator. So control expressions has a boolean value. So output will always be a boolean value. For example, if our value is equal to 3, the written value will be either true or false. So if its value is 3, if it is true only, this portion of code will be executed. Else the value is false. I mean like the return types are boolean here. And comparison operators, we have used the double equal to in our example, right? This is not equal to, less than equal to, greater and greater than equal to. So these are mainly useful for our while we are doing some comparisons here. Okay. So triple equal to compares the identity of values or the objects. So there are certain differences between double equal to and triple equal to. Okay. This will be like 3 equal to 3 is true due to the automatic conversion. So here it is a string and here it is a number, right? In this case, how a string is equal to number, you may get it out. But here the automatic conversion will take place in the case of double equal to, and it will be treated as same number. Okay, it is the value it is checking actually. So here in this case, triple equal to, it is false because it checks for both value and type. Here only it checks for value only, because here the data type is different, right? It's a string, it's a number, but it doesn't care. It will simply check the value. So double equal to, it will return true, but the type is different. This is a string and this is a number. So in this case, it will return a false. So similarly, we have a boolean operators like double and, or, and exclamatory mark. See, generally here if you want to do multiple comparisons, okay, less than or equal to 5. Here I am joining two expressions here, right? So in this case I can use a logical operators like and. And means both the condition has to be uh, taken care, or means if executed. If it's an and operator, both has to be satisfied, okay? And warning, a boolean value evaluates as true unless the object is null or undefined. So if an object is null or undefined, this particular exclamatory mark, a boolean object evaluates as a true. So and operator, you can have the values like represent like this, and or you can check using this symbol, and not. So x is equal to y. Before that you have given this boolean operator not means what it returns, you have to see, okay? Return type. You can just play with the values, okay? Here, that is a warning symbol. So x triple equal to y, we have seen, right? It will look for value as well as the type. So value 6 is equal to 3, false, it failed. Type, it is a number, yes, it is true. But as the values are different, what will be the output of this value, it will be false, right? Output will be false, and not of false is true. So the output is true here. So whatever the output you are getting here, the exactly not you will do it and you will display the result. So if it is true, not of true is false. So the output is false. Okay. This is just a simple example. So these are obviously used in your validations and all those scripting things. So this is the syntax of your switch statement syntax. I'm not elaborating more on the examples of if, then else switch statement, because these are, you are well familiar with these things. Okay. Switch off, you give some expression, and case of value 1, these statements will be executed. And if it is in the case of value 2, so this is a basic syntax. So these are the semantics for the switch statement. The expression is evaluated. Here this is your expression, switch off. The value of the expression is compared to the value in the each case in turn. So this expression is compared with the values, and if no case matches, execution begins at the default case. If nothing matches, if expression not equal to value 1 or value 2, then the default portion of code will be executed. Else if it matches, these respective statements will be executed. So these are certain semantics or rules of a switch statement. Okay, please go through them. Okay, well, I'll show you an example here. Two, there in our HTML code itself. Now if you want to give the border size in your prompt box, you can use this particular code, and this border size will contain the value of the here, like 0, 1, 4 or 8. So here in this case, if this border size matches with case 0, so what is your 0? 0, you have no border. So this will go and you will have the table string written. Okay. So based on the border size 0, this statements will be executed. See here we have a single line of statement. That's why we haven't used any braces. If it's a multi-line, again we'll use a flower braces. So using this break, we can stop the particular case. We can move on to the next. So if it is a border 1, try to write table border is equal to 1. If it is a 4, 4. Okay. Default case, if it is doesn't matches, then we are trying to give a default case like error invalid choice. Okay. This is your table which you have written without the border. So the border things. So I am going to share these examples today. Try to practice them and see the output. Okay. Because here I am unable to show you on a Chrome as the prompt box is not appearing while sharing. Okay. Anyways, I am going to share this example. Please try it out. Given 8 and clicked on OK, you got a thick border with 8 pixels. Okay. This is how the output appears. You are giving the input and it is reflecting in your result. Well, we are well aware of the loop statements in JavaScript, which are similar to those in C, C++ or Java. So this is the syntax while of control expression. Like when have a single statement, should have a flower braces. And for the syntax is initial expression, like for control expression I less than 10, and the increment expression I plus plus. Something you have written. So in this case, it will repeat for 10 times. Okay, I is less than 10, so it will start from 0 and till 10 it will repeat. It can be a single or a multiple. So do while statement, what happens? First the do statement will be executed, and then from there the while will be taken care, and then the control expression takes care. Here in this case, in the do, whatever we have written, that will be executed without checking for the condition in while. So the first time it will execute by default. From the next time, based on the control expression, the execution will take care. So as we have a date objects, right? We have created a new date object. There is some example here. Create an object. Okay, any object. It can be a date object or array object. Okay. So for date, we will create a new date. D should be capital. Please make sure while you write these objects. Okay. And these are the various parts of the date, like today dot to locale string get day, get month, get full year. So months or days, it starts from index 0 till, if a week has 7 days, it starts from 0 to 6. Okay, please remember those things. Get full year, get time, get hours, minutes, seconds, milliseconds. Okay, now in our input, I am trying to represent them. So this is your string which appears on your output, like date colon. You are trying to print this date string. Okay, date string is your this variable. So whatever JavaScript variables that you want to display on your web page, you will have to keep the plus sign before and plus sign after, and whatever you write within the string, it will be printed on your screen. It is an executed thing of a JavaScript. So this is the logic behind. We have used a for loop also here. See, for count is equal to 0 variable. Okay, if it is not given as var, okay, it will be considered as a global variable that we will discuss later. Okay, for now you just have to declare a variable. So whenever you use any variable, make sure like you declare it. Count less than 1000, sorry, 10,000. So this many times this logic will be executed, and we have a get time, and this end is nothing but your date. That particular date dot get time minus start is again your date. So using this certain logic, you will be able to find the difference. So let me run it. So you got the date string with date, today's date and time, 10.80. This is timestamp. Okay, day is 2, month is 0, January is 0. Okay, year is 2017, time in milliseconds. This time they have converted to milliseconds. Hour is 10 o'clock, minutes 18, seconds 44, milliseconds 432, and the overall loop it took is like 1 milliseconds. These things, as you are well aware of the for loop, while loop, do while loop, I'll share the PPT today. Please go through the semantics, and you have to remember and write it in your examinations. While programming, make sure like you follow the proper semantics. So let us see like how we can create an object. We have already seen using a new operator, we will create a object. Okay. New expression is used to create an object, like var x is equal to new date object or array object, any object. This includes a call to constructor. So whenever you create an object, it calls a constructor, and the new operator creates a blank object. The constructor creates and initializes all properties of the object. So here I'm just going to show some different syntaxes of object creation. Okay, objects are the variables containing a variables. Okay, So in JavaScript, like in JavaScript, the object is a key, which everyone has to understand. So if you understand the objects, like you can, if defined with a new keyword. So number objects we have seen, string objects we have seen, date, math, and regular expressions we are going to see. Arrays also we are going to see, like var x is equal to new array. Okay. Now math functions are always objects and objects are always objects. So that these are the different kinds of objects we have in our JavaScript. Okay. So primitive value, primitive data types we have already seen. I'm just not going through it. So this is one notation. Var person. So this is one notation of an object. Objects are variable too, but objects can contain many values. Like it's a single value, right? We can have many values using this syntax. Var person is equal to, I mentioned, right, key value pairs. These are the key value pairs. First name John, separated by comma. First name, last name, age, and eye color. This is your object. Okay. If you have an object called car will have a color, manufacturing date, model number. So these are the different properties. So object is nothing but it contains some properties as well as methods. So we are trying to show the first name plus space empty string we can give for a space here. So this is another notation. These are property values which we discussed. So methods are the actions that can be performed on the objects. So object properties can be both primitive values, other objects, and functions. So within the object, the different properties we have seen, right? First name, last name, that they can be another objects also. Okay, functions also. We can have the properties as other objects and also as functions. So object method is an object property containing a function definition. It can also have a function definition like full name, value function. Within the function, it can return certain things. Just going to share the screen and think mentors can help out the students if they want some additional information apart from the textbook. So this is another notation where person is equal to new object. Using a new keyword, we can create an object. Okay. So this is the syntax. This can be a date object, math object, number object, any object. So by default, if you want to make the person as an object, you have to write new object. Now the person has become an object. So this object you can have a first name, last name, age, and eye color. If you give var person is equal to some variable, so it is like that particular object will have only a single value. If you want to have a multiple values, as we have seen like curly braces, key value pair, you can either give that way or you can use a new keyword. So we have seen three types here. Okay. And the examples are limited in many situations, so only create a single object. Sometimes we like to have an object type that can be used to create many objects of one type. So in the case of, if you want to have a multiple objects, okay, of one type, all the objects are of same type. If you want to achieve, you can achieve by using this object constructor function. For example, you have person, okay, the person has certain properties like first name, last name, age, eye color. So your name is some XYZ. You have your first name as XYZ. You are a person. You have the properties called your first name XYZ, PQR last name, age is 25, eye color is red. So in that case, you have all the properties right. So this function has to be, what are the properties are there? These same properties I can repeat for multiple people. I have a class has number 10 students. For all the 10 students, I want to know the four properties like first name, last name, age and color. In that case, mother, my brother, my sister. So in a family, all the four people, I want to achieve all the four properties for the people in my family. So in that case, I pass John, Doe, 50, blue. So what happens? These four items we are passing through a object constructor function. We call it as. You have passed these four values and you are trying to output my father age is my father dot age. You have to write your person is your person object now is your my father. Okay, this is a constructor kind of notation. My father dot first name. So you know the value of this, right? As in other languages. So this refers to your person object. This means your person. Okay. So person is your object constructor here. So for same, this is like constructor notation, right? For the same person, for the same object types, you can have multiple things. So this keyword is nothing but your, you can consider it as a parent of the containing. Like the value of this when used in a function is the object that owns the function. Okay. So this is a general object. This is a string, number, boolean, array. Arrays also you can use this notation. Okay. Regular expression is an object, function is an object. See, the type of operator you are trying, using this type of operator, you are trying to get the type of your object. So when you give, you have created an object like boolean. Okay. So now your x4 is an object which is of boolean. So now you are using type of x4. It will return an object here. So mentors try to give these examples to the students so they can practice it on like head portion. Okay, no need for embedding external script also. String, number, true or false means boolean. Okay, this is an array. The output will be object. Okay, this is a string object. This is a number object, boolean object. This is again an object array. This is an object and the function. The last one is a function. So try out experimenting using type of. Okay. To initialize my car dot make is equal to Ford and my car dot model. Two properties you have. Your car has a properties called make and model. Okay, the delete operator can be used to delete a property from an object. If you want to, you have created two properties for your car like make and model. If you want to delete any property, you can do it using your delete operator. Delete space my car dot model. So now we are at for in loop. So syntax is for some variable prop. It can be x, y, z or any kind of variable in my car. So my car is an object. within the my car, what are the different properties you have? You want to print them. So this is a string, this is a prop, and value, how you will get it? My car of, you have to will be name colon, property is your Ford as you have given in your previous statement, and model will be contour SVT. Okay. So to achieve, if you want to print out the different name key value pairs in your object, if you want to iterate through your object, you have to use for in like this loop, for in loop. Okay. For iterating through objects, you have to definitely use the for in loop. Remember. And the syntax is for whatever you want to print, you will give some X or prop or anything in my car. In my car, what are the different properties you have to print? Like name will be retrieved by property and value can be retrieved by my car of this notation. Okay. So array is also similar way where X is equal to new array. Now your object is ready, and array indexes in JavaScript begin at 0. Array can be modified in size even after they have been created. So once an array of 10 size is created, you can modify the size. So arrays can be site, and new array with one parameter creates an empty array of specified number of elements. So it has like 10 element space. New array with 2 or more parameters have 2 parameters, 10 or 20. Like you have some array like you want to see the output 0 element. Okay. Like this, you can access any particular value. The output will be BMW. So this is one of the example. Number of specified elements as 10 still act as a elements, but not the number. Okay. You are passing 10, 20. Like object constructor, you have passed some values, right? John and all. For array also, you can pass the parameters. So carry it. The length of an array is more than the highest index to which a value has been assigned or the initial size. Using the array with one argument, whichever is the largest. And the assignment to an index, so these are certain characteristics of an array. Okay. And if you are exceeding, the remaining elements will not be stored. And assignment to an index greater than or equal to the current length simply increases the length of the array. So these are certain characteristics which we'll see the example. This is your first name, second name, third name, fourth, fifth, and sixth names. So 0 to 5. So now I want to type a new name. Okay. So in my prompt box, I'll give the new name. So what happens? The output will be, so based on the logic, is for a new name, whether we have to insert it in the end or in the before. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. My new names appended here. Okay. using this logic last. So name list dot length means the total number is 6, right? Length minus 1 we will do because the index starts from 0. So the last will be my 5 number. 6 minus 1, 5. So 5 while loop I am using. 5 greater than or equal to 0 and name list of last greater than new name. So if these two conditions are met for sure as it is and, then the new name. So list has the last name and the last plus 1 will be the name that I have provided here. In the fifth position I will get the last name plus 1. Okay. So like this it will go on iterating and the new name will be placed in the last place. Okay, that is the logic and you can find the input. So unless you try it, you will not. Bato, Zimbo is the names which is present in an array. For the first time I have given my name. So next time again I got a prompt. This time I gave another name. So all these are like appended at the end. Okay. Based on the logic. If you want to prepend it, you have to reverse the logic. And shift. So rest have some space also. If you run it, this will be your output. All these are joined using your star, or you can have some comma. Okay, this is one of the examples. Similarly, you can try out reverse concat. Slice means you will get some portion of a string. Okay. Concatenating means you are trying to. Let me show this example as well. Here, concatenation, addition, plus. So using this, I am adding two arrays, Michael's dot concat of another array. Okay, concat of my boys. So this is the syntax. You got a complete list of array in my children that you are printing using this. Okay. The front and add to the front. So in the array, you have this list of operators. Like if you want 5, 6, 7, 8, if you use something dot push of 10, it will add it to the end. Or if you want to remove, you can use pop. Now moving on to two-dimensional arrays. Two-dimensional array in JavaScript need not even be rectangular shape. Different rows could have different length. So this show you an example here. So here what I am trying to do is I am trying to write out a different rows. Row 0, row 1. So this is your row 0. this is your row 1 and this is your row 2. Now in my HTML, this is my variable. So this is row 0. For printing row 0, I am using this loop, and for printing the elements, I am using this loop. Okay. So nested array of a row dynamically by using the loops. End of this errors in scripts we will discuss in our next class. Okay.